Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming big storm that we have coming up. We also have a lot of severe weather. We have a moderate risk now showing up on the Storm Prediction Center, so we need to talk about that. Moderate risk is actually quite high. I know moderate seems like it would just be kind of like a medium type risk, but that's actually the second highest risk level you can have outside of high, and there's actually many below it. So it's not the middle, it's actually at the very top end, as weird as that seems. So we're going to talk about all of those things within this video. We're going to break down the radar as well, so let's get straight into it. Anyways, before I get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, when do you think our next severe weather outbreak will be happening? Likely after this one that we're going to have happening here coming up in the next couple of days, Monday through Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday. We're going to be dealing with that, so tomorrow through potentially Wednesday. When do you think we can expect to have our next big severe weather event? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're looking out west, and we see a lot of storminess out there, and that's going to eventually become our low pressure system that's going to bring severe weather, especially down here, and then eventually on Tuesday, it's going to be more in here, and then Wednesday, it might even be along the eastern seaboard here, like this is what the Storm Prediction Center is suggesting. So we're going to see this storm really bring impacts to a lot of states, also some snowfall across the northern portions of the United States, and then we have some storminess still in the eastern United States. And by the way, there was so much lightning along this line right here that I had to literally turn the lightning off because it was lowering the performance and you couldn't even see what was going on. So a lot of lightning associated with that. You guys know that I like thunderstorms as long as they're not dangerous. And unfortunately, here in, I think this entire region, but I'm kind of smack dab in the middle of that. I'm not exactly right underneath that circle, by the way. I just didn't want to put the circle in the accurate location of where I live. But we didn't see any thunderstorms with this one. I did see a couple of thunderstorms about a week ago, so I guess it's okay. But I was a little bit disappointed about that. Now we're going to go ahead and zoom into some different regions here. First things first, we always start with we start with the northwest here, and as you can see, Cascades, we're seeing some snowfall. Rockies, we're seeing some snowfall. For a lot of these regions, precipitation typing does turn off, but we do see a lot of these showers moving onshore to Washington and Oregon, and it really is showers. They're kind of isolated there. It's very interesting. You can see just like dot like that, with dry pockets in between. It's very isolated pockets in there. Let's move a little bit further south here. We do also have some precipitation kind of lingering in here, and there's just a lot of energy around out west, and this is just generally all going to swing its way south, or it might be a bit north of there, but it is going to swing its way in here and really develop east to the Rockies. We see this frequently where things are disorganized over this region, and then they get their act together once they're past this mountain range, obviously, the Rockies. These are pretty harsh on storms, and they make it hard for organization. But once they're over flat land, they have a much easier time. Now, I guess to find more precipitation, let's go down here to Texas. Guys, okay. Florida, I might need to get some more sleep, guys. I've been a little bit sleep deprived. This is Florida. They both have a panhandle, I guess, but this is Florida, not Texas. We do have this precipitation up here in the northern regions near Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, even Orlando is probably going to be impacted by some of this. And on the southern end here, I wouldn't be surprised if these are thunderstorms happening, especially some of those ones moving onshore now. And they should be kind of moved out, it looks like, later today. But in Florida, you never really know. It can kind of thunderstorm at any point as long as the humidity and temperatures are, right for that, which 99% of the time they are. So you can't ever rule out a stray thunderstorm or something like that. But generally, this organized area should be moved offshore actually fairly soon here throughout the day today. Now up here for the northeast, it's mostly just very light showers, as you can see. We're not even seeing any yellows really pop up for this region. So really just some lighter drizzles going on most likely for a lot of these regions in Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and even up into New England here, where there is some of these stray showers. We do have a little bit of snowfall that's been happening up here, and this is heavier at times. But the precipitation typing does turn off, like I said. But Heavier freezing rain, sleet, and snow, wintry mix going on up there in northern Maine. Anyway, guys, that's everything that's going on right now. What we're going to do here is we're going to move on. We're going to talk about that model guidance pretty briefly because we really need to get into the Storm Prediction Center where there is a ton to talk about right now. All right, now here we are taking a look at our European model. We can see the storminess up here in the west. This will eventually become our more major storm, like I mentioned. All of this in the eastern United States will move further offshore and really move out. So this is what we're going to see happening. And by the time we're reaching about tomorrow at about 10 or 11 a.m., that's going to be Monday, March 21st, we could see this low pressure system developing just to the east of the Rockies, like I mentioned. Snowfall kind of lingering back here. We see some storminess up here for the northwest still. And these storms are really starting to break down in this region. It's going to be an important thing to watch during bigger severe weather events like tomorrow. We watch for precipitation and clouds that are already going to be in the area, because one thing that can really enhance severe weather events is a lot of sun and dry conditions beforehand, before severe weather events actually occur. But if there's rain and thunderstorms already taking place in the region before the severe weather moves in, that does eat away at some of the potential. So we can kind of be cheering on these early onset showers and thunderstorms for sure, hoping that that kind of eats up some of the potential here. But by the time we really reach about 8 p.m. here, and this is going to be still Monday, March 21st, this is when we're really reaching the height of this event. So as we're reaching into the late afternoon, into the evening, this is when things will really start to get going. We can see south of our low pressure system in here especially, there's some really stronger pockets of thunderstorms probably developing in there by this point. Our surface cape here, convective available potential energy, is quite elevated. Usually you're looking for 1,000 plus, which would be anything above the greens. So our greens, yellows, reds, purples, whites, and blacks are all going to be, very sufficient. Even the blues will be good enough, really. Honestly, all you need is a little bit, and you have enough. So we definitely have 1,000 plus, and even 2,000 plus. They're indicated by the yellows in a lot of these regions expecting severe weather. So more than enough, basically, for this event to take place, obviously. Now, as we move through with this, we see snowfall developing on the western end, by the way, all the way down to Texas and Oklahoma behind this one. A 998 millibar low pressure center, clearly a cold front lingering down, warm front kind of coming up like this. And for day 2, Tuesday, or I guess this would be day 2 of the event, but from now on the Storm Prediction Center, it's day 3 actually. We're watching mostly that area I circled, especially Louisiana there and Mississippi, where we now have a moderate risk of severe weather, which is, let's see, risk level 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5. So 4 out of 5. Monday, the 21st, is a 3 out of 5, which is the enhanced. So that's what we're dealing with on Monday. But this is Tuesday, March 22nd, and things really should get underway by the afternoon, around, I would say, it looks like between 2 and maybe 5 p.m. might be the height of this event, but these timings can really switch up, so don't quote me on that, but I do think that this would be a little bit of an earlier onset than perhaps Monday would. And by the way, I am planning on trying to go live for both of these dates, so be looking for that for sure. Monday is going to be a little bit of a later event, so be watching for that later in the day. Tuesday is really the one I'm targeting the most, so also be on the lookout for that. By Wednesday, we could see a lot of this storminess again along the eastern seaboard, and I think that there is some potential for severe weather and thunderstorms as this cold front really stretches down like that all the way down to Mexico, basically. And we have a bit of a warm front up there as well. This could lead towards some thunderstorm activity throughout all of these regions out ahead of that cold front. And then basically, so that's Wednesday the 23rd. By Thursday, let's see, it's moved up into Canada, and really the thunderstorm impacts are probably exclusive for Florida by that point. And then by Friday, we get a lot quieter. But what we do see is an Arctic blast, a very strong Arctic blast, like winter's last laugh. And let me tell you, yesterday is pretty warm here in Virginia. There was a ton of bugs out. This cold snap could really help that. A lot of these bugs have hatched and, come out of the swamps and come out of the ground. Whatever they do, this cold snap could kill those ones that hatched, and could help with a lot of that. So I look at that as good news. We see that there is a lot of cold air here centered over the east, a lot of warm air centered over here. The jet stream is very extreme right here, doing about like this. Very, very extreme actually. Huge ridge and huge trough. This is a huge ridge and this is a massive trough. And then we get a little bit of this activity here. And what we're going to see, this is the 28th, by the way. That's going to be a Monday. We see some storminess building into the west. We're going to see another storm come in just like our classic storm track we've been dealing with here. So watch it play out. And that's kind of the last frame here. So we see something going on here. I guess it is a little bit further north. We do have some low pressure here, but what I think is going on is really there's just low pressure for this entire region, but the center is actually this one right here. And it looks like it's developing a cold front underneath like this, and a very, very large warm front there extending well north into the United States. This is a sign of how warm things are becoming and how close we're approaching spring. This would be almost April here, March 29th and the 30th basically. But this could be our next severe weather event, big one for down here. We're going to have to watch for that very, very closely as well. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, Friday. That's going to be the very tail end of March into the beginning of April. So that'll be interesting to watch. Let's break down the Storm Prediction Center real quick because there is a lot to go over like I mentioned. Now, day one, there isn't much of a risk at all. So today, Sunday, March 20th. So we're not going to be breaking that down. We're starting with day two here, which again is Monday, March 21st. Very major severe weather outbreak looks to occur from Monday into at least Tuesday and maybe even Wednesday here. So we're taking a look at two general thunderstorm risks here, one for Florida there, and then one very large one for the south central United States. That's where we don't expect severe weather, but anything is possible. Keep that in mind. We do have this darker green area, which is our marginal risk, and this is where severe weather becomes a little bit more of a possibility, according to the Storm Prediction Center. But really, it isn't a likelihood in there. We should see maybe some isolated reports coming out of that region there. The yellow region, however, is our slight risk, and that's kind of the middle of the bar here, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. And that is where scattered severe weather reports usually begin to come in. And then our orange area there is our enhanced risk, which is, again, a level 3 out of 5. So we've kind of moved into the higher range. If you're really wondering which one is the more medium level, enhanced is the most middle level that there is, not moderate, as strange as that is. We could see that a lot of Texas is in there, and this is where severe weather becomes a bit more widespread in there, and that's kind of the biggest worry. And there is room for an upgrade to a moderate risk, coming up soon here, so we'll be watching for that as well. Let's break down the individual outlooks, though. So first things first, our wind outlook, which doesn't seem to be the biggest risk starting tomorrow. We have a 5% chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given location there within the green, and a 15% chance there within the yellow, which we're going to be watching for that, obviously. But this seems to be the least likely severe weather type, according to the Storm Prediction Center. As we move into hail, we can see the likelihoods increase. We see, again, a 5% chance within 25 miles of a given location there within the green, 15% chance there within the yellow, and then a 30% chance there within the red. So we can expect likely supercells probably is what the expectations are here, because those usually feature more hail and tornado type impacts, whereas more straight line thunderstorms usually feature more damaging wind than hail or tornadoes. And then we have this black hatched region, which is where we expect potential for 2-inch diameter or larger hail. So very, very large hail is a big possibility here, according to the Storm Prediction Center. As we move into the tornado outlook here, we can see we have a 2% chance within 25 miles of a given location there within the green, 5% chance there within the brown, 10% chance there within the yellow, and then again, that hatched area, which indicates EF2 or higher tornadoes, seem to be a big possibility as well for Monday, March 21st, which makes this a very serious severe weather day potentially, and we need to really take it seriously. So heed all those warnings, heed all those watches, and keep up to date with these outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center as they update these multiple times a day. Now, as we move towards day 3, as you can see, we do have a moderate risk of severe weather. I don't want to break it down too fast. We do have 3 general thunderstorm risk areas, one there for east of the Rockies, one there for southern Florida, and then one big one here, as we can see, for this region here. The marginal risk, which is very, very thin, is where we expect a little bit of severe weather to be possible, but not necessarily likely. The yellow is where things become a little bit of a higher probability. And again, scattered severe weather reports could be expected there within the yellow region. And then our enhanced is where things get a little bit more widespread and a little bit more elevated. Again, level 3 out of 5. And then our red there for Louisiana and Mississippi is our moderate risk of severe weather, which is level 4 out of 5. And just to put into terms how high that really is, I would say there's a lot of severe weather years where we don't really see a level 5 severe weather risk at all. So we don't ever even get into that high risk area at any point. Last year we happened to get into it, I think 2 times. It might have been more. There might have been a third one that I'm forgetting about, but I remember twice, I think in March. I think it was March, like a week apart, we had 2 high risk severe weather days. So, but that's not the most common thing. High risk is really reserved for those just highest risk days, very, very rare severe weather days. So moderate is a very high risk, and they do happen a few times a year, but they're not as common as you would think based on the term moderate. Again, I don't think moderate is even a good description of what it really is, as far as how likely severe weather will be in this region. It will likely be widespread throughout this red region is the expectations here. And then day 4, we only have the probability outlook, but we do have a 15% chance of severe weather here along the eastern seaboard, like I mentioned. So maybe I will get a thunderstorm. Hopefully no severe weather, though, but this does make thunderstorms more likely. But maybe I'll get some thunder, but hopefully no dangerous weather, obviously, is always the hope here. But this 15% chance region, this entire yellow region, translates to a slight risk once it's in days 1 through 3 on the categorical outlook. And given how large this is, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an enhanced in there somewhere as well, even for day 4 here on Wednesday, March 23rd. So we're going to be watching for all of these things. For today's confidence tab, we were at a 4 out of 6, obviously. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, have you had your first thunderstorm yet? And Sunshine Lady 960 said, yesterday in Georgia, it got so dark, my solar lights came on. Big booms too. Spring is springing here. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Doesn't sound like that was a dangerous storm, but it was just a little bit ominous. You know, it has that thunderstorm mood to it. Some big booms. I love that. And there is a lot of people that enjoy thunderstorms, actually, that I speak with. It's strange. It calms some people. It really stresses some people out. So there's a very opposite reaction among some people. It's a lot like snow, where some people like snow, and then some people really, really hate it. That's how it is here, too. I happen to be one of the people that I love all types of weather. I just love weather. I love predicting it. I love experiencing it. I even love extreme weather. I love experiencing extreme weather. You know, I never hope for damage, but it's just the intensity is really what drew me into weather. It's hard to explain, but obviously always hope that nobody gets hurt, obviously. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Craich, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Lil the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kodalas, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Khaleesi also. I would also thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Finn, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.